Today we're getting into a really intense story. It's got a fugitive, a paranoid king, and it all comes down to one single decision made in a dark cave. A decision that, no joke, would change the course of a nation.
All right, let's just jump right in with the big question that really frames this whole thing. I mean, this is a test of power, of morality, of destiny, and it's all happening right there in the moment.
So you've got these two major players at the center of it all. On one side, you've got King Saul. He's the guy in charge, the established monarch, but he is just eaten up with paranoia, terrified of losing his throne. And then on the other side, you've got David. He's supposed to be the next king, but right now he's on the run for his life. But what's different about him is that he's guided by his faith and this incredible, deliberate restraint.
Okay, so let's set the scene here. You have a king who is so consumed by jealousy that he's actively hunting the guy who's supposed to be his successor. And this isn't just some personal fight, you know. This is a full-blown crisis for the entire kingdom.
I mean, the stakes here are just ridiculously high. Saul doesn't see David as the hero who killed Goliath anymore, or even as a loyal subject. Nope. He sees him as a direct threat to his crown, and he is throwing everything he has, the entire force of the kingdom, at trying to get rid of him.
And you gotta understand, this wasn't just a one-off thing. This was a long, desperate chase. It was relentless, filled with betrayals and these crazy close calls that really pushed David to the absolute brink.
Just look at this timeline. David is constantly on the run. He saves a whole city, and what happens? He finds out they're going to betray him to Saul. He gets a little encouragement from his best friend Jonathan, who, by the way, is Saul's own son. But then, bam, he gets sold out again by someone else. The only break he gets is when a Philistine invasion pulls Saul away for a minute. That little bit of luck is what leads him to hide out in the caves at Gedi.
Now, through this whole mess, David isn't just running around scared. He's not just reacting. He's actually being very strategic. He's constantly asking for guidance from God, using this priestly tool called an ephod to figure out his next move. Remember, he's not alone. He's leading a band of 600 loyal guys, so he's really banking on what he sees as divine intel just to stay alive.
Okay, so this long, desperate chase, it's all building to this one unbelievable moment. A moment where the hunter and the hunted are about to switch places in the most dramatic way possible.
And here it is. This is the turning point. Saul, the king, the guy with the army, walks into a cave by himself to relieve himself. He's completely vulnerable, totally alone, and has no idea that the very man he's been hunting for months is hiding in the back of that same cave, along with his 600 men. Can you just feel the tension in that cave? David's men are whispering to him, "This is it. The Lord has delivered your enemy right into your hands." For them, it's a no-brainer. This is a gift from God, the perfect chance to end the chase, kill Saul, and take the throne. The pressure on David in that moment must have been absolutely crushing. But David, he pauses, and his reason for hesitating is the key to his whole character. He doesn't just see Saul as his enemy, he sees him as the Lord's anointed. So for David, attacking Saul isn't just attacking some guy, it's like attacking the sacred office of the king itself, an office he believes was put there by God. So instead of just grabbing power with a sword, David does something pretty amazing. He sees the opportunity. He feels the temptation from his men pushing him, but he makes a conscious choice, restraint. He decides he won't harm Saul. Instead, he does something symbolic. He just sneaks up and quietly cuts off a corner of Saul's robe. And get this part is really fascinating. Even just cutting the robe bothers him. The text says he was immediately stricken with guilt. He felt like even that small act was disrespectful to the king's dignity. That just shows you how deep his respect for the office ran, even when the man holding it was trying to kill him.
All right, so what happens next? Let's get to the confrontation that follows, because this act of mercy, and the proof David now holds, is about to change everything.
So after Saul leaves the cave, David doesn't just stay hidden. He steps out and calls after him, and then he holds up that piece of the robe. It's undeniable proof. It's like he's saying, "Look, I was close enough to do this. I could have ended you, but I didn't." And Saul's reaction? A total emotional breakdown. When he hears David's voice and sees that piece of cloth, he is just overwhelmed. He gets it. He realizes how righteous David has been and how cruel and paranoid he's been. The proof is right there in his face, and he just breaks down and weeps bitterly.
And this conversation they have is wild. Saul straight up admits, "You are more righteous than I am."
He accepts that David is going to be the next king. He even makes David promise to spare his descendants. And what does David do? He doesn't gloat, he just defends his own integrity and basically says, "Let God be the judge between us."
So the big question is, was Saul's change of heart real? Well, it seems like it was just a temporary thing. It was a really powerful moment, for sure, but it didn't last. In the end, his paranoia came roaring back, and yeah, he went right back to hunting David.
Okay, so just think about this for a second. How do you even process something that intense? You literally hold your enemy's life in your hands, you choose mercy, and then you have to go right back to being a fugitive. How do you deal with that?
Well, we actually get a window right into David's mind, because the story says that this whole ordeal led him to write Psalm 57. He's hiding in this cave, and he turns this terrifying life-or-death experience into a song. It's both a prayer and a declaration of his faith.
And the psalm starts exactly how you'd think it would. It's a desperate cry for help. Have mercy on me, O God, have mercy. It's the raw emotion of a man on the run, totally exhausted, just looking for a safe place until the danger passes.
But here's the amazing part. It doesn't stay in that place of fear. The song makes this incredible pivot. It shifts from fear to this powerful declaration of faith. David, still in the cave, still being hunted, says, "My heart, O God, is steadfast." He's already decided that he's going to come out of this and give praise.
And really, that's the whole point. What made David a man after God's own heart wasn't all his big battlefield wins. It was how he acted in moments like this. It was his ability to show restraint when he had all the power, to trust that there was a bigger plan, and to turn his fear into faith. That's what truly set him apart.
So it all comes down to this one last thought. Is mercy a sign of weakness, or is it the ultimate sign of strength? In a world where power so often means crushing your opponent, this story really makes you wonder if real strength isn't about the power to destroy, but the character it takes to show mercy.